Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel in a brand new series. What we're doing is we are going through and explaining and showing off the Bob's Burgers comic book series. Now, a lot of you didn't know that Bob's Burgers actually had a comic book series. It ran from 2014 to about 2016, done through Dynamite Entertainment. There were roughly 21 issues, I believe, maybe up to 26. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but around that. Um, and yeah, there were about four of the free comic book day issues as well. And we'll go over all those. But essentially, what we're doing in this series is since I collect these and I've been collecting them for a while, I have about 40 issues in the back that we'll get through throughout this series here. But I'm constantly getting new ones in and ordering new ones. And in fact, I have four more inbound, and I just got four more the other day. So each video will focus on one particular issue. I'll show you the cover art. I'll show you the insides. I'll tell you exactly what the stories are on the inside, and essentially just show you, because not a lot of you knew that there were Bob's Burgers comics, and I don't blame you. They only ran for a couple of years. So yeah, a lot of newer fans don't know about these. But today we are starting off the series, of course, with issue number 1, but not the main issue cover artwork, which was done by Devin Roth. In fact, we're starting off this particular series with issue number 1. This is a variant cover. This is the Midtown Comics exclusive, done by Hector Reynoso is the cover art here, cover artist, sorry. It's the Belchers in New York City, which is where, of course, Midtown Comics is located. You see the Belchers there enjoying the sights and sounds of New York City. Bob, not so much. And of course, Tina enjoying a little more of the sights, as you can see there. And for those of you aware of New York City, that is, of course, the Naked Cowboy. Very famous gentleman who wears a cowboy hat, plays guitar in Times Square, I believe Times Square, in his underwear. He's a naked cowboy, and people took photos with him, or at least they did at one point. I think something might have happened to him to get canceled. I could be wrong, though. You look it up yourself. I'm not doing it. But yeah, this is the Midtown exclusive. And this, of course, is part of what's called the first run of the Bob's Burgers comics. There are essentially the Bob's Burgers comic series can be split up into different iterations. You have issues 1 through 5 of the first run of comics. And then from there, it starts off again with issue number 1 in what I've learned is called the ongoing series. And that runs for about 16 issues. So this is the first run with different stories than the ongoing series. But we'll get into all that. That is all in the weeds, inside baseball. And we'll get into all that in future episodes. But for now, this is issue number 1. And if you have any of the comic books, you can see on the inside exactly what the stories are. But for those of you who don't know, this one has Tina's erotic friend fiction presents My So-Called Life as a Horse, which we follow Tina as a horse. No burying the lead there. It's exactly what it is. It's a fun little story. Followed by, what do you have? Burger of the Day ideas to catch TV catchphrase burgers and hits of the 80s burgers, which is not so much a story, but it is a fun little insert of what appears to be like Bob's notes on the different burgers and the ideas. And I'll add still shots of all this at the end so folks can see exactly what I'm showing here, because I know the video doesn't always pick up all the fun little details there. We also have an ongoing series within the comics called Luis's Unsolved Mysteries and Curious Curiosities. This one is Picture Day. Essentially, it's to me a Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing, where the kids or pod people kind of thing, where the kids get their photos taken and they're kind of mesmerized by the flash, and Luis thinks that the photographer is there to capture the kids, I suppose, and she ends up, spoilers, smashing the camera. It's fun. And then you have, let's see, Gene Belcher presents The Boy in the Burger, the musical. Gene has an ongoing run of stories here where he does musicals, and this one is no exception. Issue number 1. I love the comic book series because it allows the writers and the animators who also work on the comics, or did when it was running, the ability to write stories and do artwork that you would never catch in an episode of Bob's. For example, let's see. Like this kind of looks like a Bob's Burgers like episode, but just a little off. So you got like artwork like this, or artwork such as like Tina as an equestrian out there. So it's cool stuff like that that you wouldn't necessarily see in an episode of Bob's, but you get these really cool side stories that aren't necessarily connected to the show itself, or at least no stories within the show. But it is Bob's Burgers. I mean, you get classic Bob's Burgers. That would never you never see that in an episode, but they've given the creators free reign here to do whatever they want. And you also have like letters from Linda, which is like a little insert from Linda, just fun. So yeah, absolutely fantastic issue. I'll add still shots at the end so you can see exactly in detail what I was trying to show you here. For those of you curious, Mike, where do you get your comics? They're long out of print, so they're hard to come by. So where exactly do you get them? I get these on sites like eBay or Macari. You can even contact, in some cases, I'm going to put this back in the back here, because these will remain bagged and boarded for those of you huffing and puffing. You can even contact places like Midtown Comics and ask them, hey, do you have any more in stock? Check their website. Let's see. eBay is usually my best bet, but the problem being that since these are long out of print, collectors and sellers know that. And sometimes you're going to end up paying like some really high prices for these. Not this particular issue, but I think the most I've ever spent on one is about $35, which isn't bad, all things considered. Because some of these can get really pricey when you start talking about like the Virgin covers, which is the artwork, but without any of the branding on it. Those can get really expensive. Some of the variant covers can get very expensive. And some issues, you only have like, you have your main cover and then you have maybe 3 variant covers. For issue number 1, let me show you how crazy this is getting. Just with issue number 1, you have 4, 8, 12. You have 16 different covers just for this one particular issue. And I have a lot of these covers, so I'll get into it in future episodes of this series, exactly what those different covers are and why there are 16 different covers. And while it's fantastic to have like the different variants and stuff like that, it is maddening to try to hunt these down well after they've been out of print for so long. It is an expensive hobby, but a fun one. And yeah, I like I said, I have 4 more that just came in. I have 4 more inbound, and I got about 40 sitting in the back. So each new episode of this series here will discuss a issue of the comic books. Some we may not get into the stories again because, again, issue number 1, 16 different covers, but the same story in every one. So we won't really break down all of them as in depth because there's really nothing to break down because it's the same thing over and over again. But we will show off the different covers and hopefully help you all start your own comic book collection. So yeah, like I said, still shots at the end of this, so you all can see exactly what I was trying to show you, hero shots, if you will. But yeah, until next time, I've been Mike from the Great North to Wonder Wharf. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.